White balance is one of the most important things to get right in your photographs. An incorrect white balance can make your image look too cold, too warm, or just plain wrong. When trying to get a correct white balance, pay particular attention to any neutral greys and whites in the image, and also to skin tone. Often when working with white balance, it's a good idea to get it as close as you can, then come back an hour or two later and continue working. If you look at an image with the incorrect white balance for long enough, your eyes will start to lie to you. As you can see, this image is far too blue. It gives an interesting look with the cold metal she's sitting on, but let's get it to a more neutral point. There are three main ways you can adjust your white balance. You can use a white balance preset via the drop-down menu, you can adjust the temperature and tint sliders, or you can use the color picker to select a reference neutral point in your image. Let's explore these three options. The first option is the white balance preset. By default, it will be set to as shot, which is whatever your camera had set as its white balance. Sometimes, if the image has a lot of neutral tones in it, you can also try the automatic mode to see what Lightroom thinks is correct. Sometimes this doesn't get it quite right and you need to try some of the presets. Here, you are selecting something that matches the conditions in which you shot the photo. This image we shot on a cloudy day, so I'm going to try the cloudy preset. This gives a pretty accurate result in this instance, but it doesn't always work. Just for fun, try some of the other presets to see how your image is affected by different temperature presets. The next method of adjusting white balance is far more accurate but also takes a lot more time and practice to get used to. This method is adjusting the color temperature and tint manually. As you move the temperature slider, the image will become warmer or cooler. As you move the tint slider backwards and forwards, it will make the photo more green or more magenta. In this particular image, we just need to focus mainly on the temperature and maybe only tweak the tint a tiny bit. If you take photos out in nature where there's lots of green reflected light, you'll probably need to work with the tint slider a lot more. The final method for selecting your white balance is the white balance color picker. To use the tool, click on the color picker and then move it over a neutral point in the image and click on that. In this instance, there's a lot of grey in the background, so we might try that as a starting point. It gives us a pretty good result. You can try different parts of the image to see what results you get. The other thing we could use in this image is a shoe, as that's white. It gives us a pretty good result as well. If you accidentally choose the wrong color, you'll get a very strange result. I'm going to purposely pick the yellow sign in this instance, and we can see that because Lightroom is trying to balance what was yellow, it's added a lot more blue. This has affected the entire image and made it very cold. If I select her blue jeans, we'll get something that looks a little bit too orange. It's not too far off because there's not a lot of saturation in her jeans. Let's choose a white balance against her shoe again to correct this image. From this point, we could then tweak our result using the temperature and tint sliders until we were happy with the result. Again, it can be good to leave the image and come back to it in an hour or two and continue working. Once you're happy with your white balance, you would go ahead and adjust the exposure, contrast, and all the other parameters in the Develop module.